Hey guys, welcome to the first of, well, Unit 1. Um, and the first of a few little videos and activities that we're going to be doing in this second session of the first week of class. So this is part of the group that's due this coming Sunday, the 13th by 11:59 p.m. And these first two activities are pretty easy. There's a little short video that goes with it and then a prompt or two to complete in your writer's notebook that you have created in your Google Drive. So there's nothing to submit. If you've submitted your link and I can see your notebook, then I will check that to make sure that you're, doing your writer's notebook. So there isn't anything, when there's things due in your writer's notebook, there typically isn't anything that you need to submit because I can just kind of look it up from Canvas and see that you're keeping up with things. So this first unit that we're going to start working on is about situating yourself as a writer and researcher. It's the first of 4 units. The first unit is really, honestly, like just about getting situated. We'll talk a lot about good writing, good research, some intro stuff, our inquiry project, how inquiry is different, I guess, than a lot of like traditional types of research that people are used to. And we'll also be talking about that project and getting your topic picked. So the goal over the next few units is in Unit 1 to kind of pick your topic and get situated with the conversation that you're going to be looking into. So with the writing and the research surrounding that conversation. The second unit is about doing the research into that topic. And then the third unit is when we will be writing into that conversation, contributing something. It's where you'll be doing your visual kind of digital essay. And then the last unit is about finalizing and reflecting in your portfolio. I'm just going to move this down a little bit. So the first thing that we're going to start with is thinking about the question, like, what is good writing? I mean, it's a writing class. So it seems like a good place to start, right? So first, we are going to begin with actually trying to answer this question, what is good writing? And here's why. One of the things that we're going to be working on this term, and a big part of your portfolio, you have your inquiry project itself. The other part of it is a writing theory, which focuses on one of the 5 kind of key skills we're going to be working on that we'll go over later in this session, which is critical reflection. So critical reflection is kind of just being able to self-examine, to really, take a magnifying glass and look at your own writing, your own thinking, your own skills, opinions, your growth, that kind of thing. So it really is about kind of self-examination. So we're going to do this by putting together this personal theory of writing, which is first your description of good writing and its purposes, your insights about your own writing habits and skills, your insights on experiences and people that shaped those ideas and skills. And then we will get into the work that you did this semester in class and kind of picking apart things you've worked on to improve writing, pieces of work that you've done. So you'll talk about your inquiry project and the final drafts there, and also some of the other work that you did this semester as part of this. We're not going to look at the assignment sheet for the writing theory until later in the term when we actually get to the assignment. What we're going to be working on during this semester is continuing to come back and hone these opinions based on content that we're working on in the class, just to sort of get prepared for that reflective essay. So it kind of covers 3 goals. It's your description of good writing, your analysis and reasoning behind those assertions based on things from outside of class. So it could be previous experiences, workplace writing that you have to do, your, maybe job, other classes that you're taking now. It can also be or will be your like analysis and reasoning behind those things based on stuff we do in class. So that's where, again, you'll pull from things from in this class. So 3 things: your description of what good writing is, and skills good writers have, your reasons behind thinking that from experiences outside of class, and then from inside class, things that we've worked on over the course of the term. So a couple of things that your writing theory will be. One, it is a personal description of good writing and good writers. So it's your ideas about what aspects of writing are most useful, most effective, and most relevant. So being able to say things like, or answer questions like, well, what does good writing even look like? Like, how would you know if you saw a piece of good writing? How do you know if your writing is good or not? What kinds of things matter most in writing? What would you look for or notice that would make you call it good? What makes it successful? What is it that good writers even do anyway? Like, how do you know when someone is a good writer? I hear a lot of people say all the time that they feel like they either are or aren't a good writer, but why? It is personal. Your theory of writing should not sound like my theory of writing or someone else's in the room, because it's based on this class, but also your own experiences. And one of the things we'll talk a lot about is that what is considered good can be different in different contexts. For instance, if you are a creative writer and you took the things that people think are good in storytelling and you try to apply those to a lab report, it's going to be bad. If you try to take the kind of writing that you would do in a lab report and try to write an analytical essay with those skills, it would be pretty bad, because different contexts like different things. So what counts as good can depend on what kind of writing you do, what kind of communication you do, and what they like in your major or in the field you're going into. We're going to think about the relationship between research and writing. It's a research and a writing class. So kind of trying to think about, like, in what context do you use research strategies the most, and what kinds of things are most helpful for you, and how does research impact successful writing? Like, how does good or bad research impact the writing that comes from that? It should be informed from things that we're going to go over in class, obviously, and then also from your own experiences elsewhere. So you're going to now go to your writer's notebook. We got the next two slides are going to go through some prompts that are going to get you, it's kind of like a first stab. It's okay if it feels a little awkward. We're going to come back to these prompts like over and over as we talk more. So you'll have a chance to watch like your responses kind of grow, not necessarily change. Some people's writing theories and their ideas about good writing change drastically over the course of the semester. Some people just want to either take things out or add things, or find that they kind of know what they want to say at the beginning of the semester, but they can better explain it as they continue to kind of work on it, and they have better examples and like evidence from class that, like, yes, we went over this, this supports what I said here. So we're just going to go through and try to answer some of these first questions just to sort of get started. So the first couple here, there are four. How do you know? And you can, sorry, if you're in your notebook, it's helpful if you're, especially if you're doing a file, not a file, but you're doing like the single file, and you're just kind of keeping everything like one after the other. To put a date on it, it's helpful for you to put a title on it. So this could be like first stab at writing theory, something like that. You can title it whatever you want to. I'll be able to see what it is. So first question is, how do you know when you see good writing? What does it look like? What features stand out? So if you're looking at like your friend's essay and they ask you if it's good or not, how would you know if it was good? So what makes a piece of writing successful? Like what should good writing be able to do or accomplish? What do you think some skills are that strong writers have? If someone asked you if you were a good writer and you said yeah, and they said why, like, what would you say? What is it that you can do that makes you a good writer? Or if you have a friend that you say, well, I kind of struggle, but this person over here, they always get A's, they're a really good writer. Well, why? What are the things that they can do that make them a good writer? So I would pause this video now and just take a few minutes, maybe 5, to write out your responses to this, or you can just do it all kind of at the end. I'm going to go through the next few. So here's the second set of prompts, and there's 5 here, and it's very more like personal about the writing you've been doing or have experience with. So what kinds of writing do you find more difficult? And maybe explain that. For instance, I struggle, I'm really good at like fiction writing, really good at analytical writing. I'm really good at explicating poetry. I'm terrible at writing poetry, like really bad, and I don't know why. I don't know why. But if you'd read any of the poetry I've tried to write, you would agree. What kinds of writing do you find easy or enjoyable? Those can be different. Like sometimes the things that we find challenging are enjoyable. But sometimes people will notice like, well, this kind of writing, I've done it a lot and it just kind of comes naturally to me. What have you been told you do well as a writer? Like have you gotten feedback and people said, hey, you did a good job with this? Do you have any like patterns of things people typically tell you that you do well, or things that you've struggled with, kind of, or told to work on maybe in feedback? And then, do you consider yourself a good writer? The big question. So if you said, this is skills good writers have, these are things good writers do, these are the things that come easy, this is what I've been told I do well, would you consider yourself a good writer? Like how would your writing hold up to that? Like are there, things that you think fit into like what you would say is good and some things that you kind of struggle with? And it's okay if it's not like a yes or no. If you're like, well, I don't know, for this reason. That is the end of the first video. So if you're not done, you didn't pause, you want to do it all at the end, go ahead and take some time to answer all of those questions in your notebook, your digital notebook, and then move on to the next part of the activity, which is about how to write a ransom letter. Bye.